and welcome to the Crochet Cakes YouTube channel. Today I have a podcast episode for you. This is episode 103 and we're going to be talking about yarn substitutions. I hope you guys have been doing well. I know it's been a hard couple of weeks and the bad news and just injustices and cruelty keep piling up, especially if you read world news and what's going on close to home in the United States, Europe, Palestine. My point is that with all this that's been going on, I still hope that you're finding some time for yourself to deal with whatever emotional repercussions you might have by reading this, and to take time to actually spread love and feel love for you and for others, and that you're on the okay side of the spectrum. I'm on the okay side of the spectrum myself. I know that I can complain a lot to my husband and my dog, and I'm very frustrated as well. Just work-related things and world-related things, and they just kind of like, you know, add up until you need a break. You need a break to shut down. So I hope that if you are in need of that break, that this podcast will provide you a little bit with that relaxation time. And speaking of okay and how I've been doing, well, I guess I'm feeling pretty fulfilled. I completed 2 commissions and I sent those off. They are the samples, so I still need to make sure one of the patterns is okay to send, and I actually need to write up the other pattern and grade it and all that. So I'm a bit, I guess, intimidated because it's going to be a lot of work. It's on a much bigger scale than I've done before. That's all I can tell you, because all these commission things are super top secret and they cannot be revealed until such time as the companies reveal the stuff. I know, I'm so mysterious. Well, anyway, those commissions are also the reason why today we are just going to be talking about one thing. And that one thing we're going to be talking about, as I said, is yarn substitutions. And we're just, I guess, essentially continuing last week's topic of tension/gauge. By the way, it was wonderful reading your comments on and your experiences on what your thoughts are about tension and gauge and how you crochet differently with wooden hooks. Somebody mentioned they crochet tighter with wooden hooks. I actually think I'm just going to do gauge. I have a 6.5 millimeter wooden hook, and I also have a 6.5 millimeter plastic hook, and I have 6.5 tulip, clover amour, and just a normal boy. So I think I'm going to continue our tension experiments with that. Now, as I said, yarn substitutions can be considered an extension of the tension and gauge topic, because substituting yarn is one of the reasons your gauge or tension can change. And I've already written 2 blog posts, not recently, but I'll link them down below, as you will find all links to things I talk about in the description box below, as well as timestamps, okay? Because I always forget to mention that there are timestamps / chapters, and it makes viewing it a lot easier. So anyway, blog posts that I've written about yarn stuff to talk about yarn substitutions are Socks Remade, where I worked up one of my sock patterns with a more commercial, readily available yarn, and Yarn Matters. I know, very creative title, but Yarn Matters is where I talk about the changes that I had to make to the summer fan top to get it to work with a completely different blend of yarn. Spoiler alert, the summer fan top was originally designed with a cotton cashmere blend, and I made it for my mom with a linen, silk, and hemp blend. So huge differences in behavior, stretch, and just general stretch. I basically had to redesign the armhole area to get it to actually fit a person with maybe average arms. Yeah. So continuing with that topic of changing yarns, I am wearing the finished Eat Cake sweater, but this is my second version. This is my summer version of the Eat Cake sweater. I will link that one down below. Originally, I made the Eat Cake sweater. I designed it, crocheted it, loved it, still look at it and sigh. And I made it with Hawthorne Fingering, which was a partnership with We Crochet Official, and I mention them now all the time because I'm still so proud that I got to work with them. I'm so happy that I got to work with them for that collaboration. It was just absolutely incredible. And the yarn, Hawthorne Fingering is a plump fingering weight yarn. It is a blend of, Peruvian Highland wool and nylon. I chose the speckled range of Hawthorne Fingering, and the placement of the speckles was just so beautiful that it really reminded me of a funfetti cake. And then the stitches that I chose, which are the back loop single crochet only stitch and then the squish single crochet stitch, kind of reminded me of the layers of a cake, especially the single crochet back loop only stitch. They really do look like cake layers, and then the squish single crochet really just looked like the piped flowers on a cake. So I'm still all about this sweater, but guys, it is 90 degrees outside. I cannot lie to you and say I can wear a wool sweater in 90 degrees. I mean, I know it's supposed to be moisture wicking, and I can still wear crochet socks in 90 degrees, but the sweater, no, not really. I can wear a sweater up to 75 degrees if there's a nice breeze going on. So when @May Sonder just approached me and asked if I would host a cal with it in case anybody wanted to join in and make the Eat Cake sweater, I said yes, and we hosted the Eat Cake sweater cal. I'll link the group chat below. And thank you to everybody who purchased, because that was a month that I actually made some money off of Etsy, and I'm just so thankful that you supported me, and it was my birthday month, so it just felt like an extra big special treat. And I'm so glad so many of you like this sweater. And I know that we don't all live in weather or states or countries that can use wool all year round, so I wanted to make the second version of the Eat Cake sweater in a different blend. And I actually unraveled a previous design to repurpose the yarn and make this sweater. So I'm showing on the screen me because I'm not standing up and doing the awkward shuffling, okay? Sorry. So this version of the Eat Cake sweater is crocheted with two different types of yarn. The mineral blue color, or the lapis blue color that I call it, is crocheted with Universal Lina, which is a cotton linen blend. And then the patina color, aptly named Patina, is Daisy from Knit One Crochet Two, and that is a linen, silk, and hemp blend. Now, as you can see in the video, the behavior of the yarn is completely different. Even though they both have a significant amount of linen, the Daisy yarn is a lot looser and it's stretched a lot more, so you have kind of a diagonal waistband, which I didn't plan it that way, but I think it looks pretty cool, so I'm not complaining. And the Universal Lina yarn is thicker, obviously, than it is thicker than the Hawthorne Fingering. It is about 252 yards per 100 grams. So on the Sport DK range, if you go by that, versus the 389 yards, I believe the Hawthorne Fingering weight has. So that's a significant difference. Hence my stitches were, I had less stitches per 4 inches. So that means my gauge was looser. But as this sweater is crocheted using the modular crochet technique, The stitch gauge will, if it's off, it will just give you a longer sweater. What we're really going by is the row gauge because we crochet it vertically, so you know we're working this way. And if you want, or if you purchase the Eat Cake crochet sweater, there is a little sample video explaining how we crochet in modular crochet. So basically how we build a sweater and the different parts of building that sweater. So given that, the changes between this sweater and my Hawthorne fingering weight sweater, this linen version is a lot less cropped, and I made the size extra small. So for the wool sample, I made it in a size small. I actually went down a size because I was already thinking that the linen would stretch significantly and it would stay that way. It wouldn't shrink or bounce back, however the proper term is. So I actually chose to make the size extra small. Very smart, because when I wet blocked it, this stretched to 19.5 inches flat, which is for a total of 41 inches in width. So even though I really like the fit of it and I think it's very flattering, it can probably fit me, my mom, I don't think my sister, because I think my sister is 44 on the chest. But if I used this yarn and the size small, I would definitely be able to make it for her. In total of how much grammage I used, this actually weighs 275 grams. In terms of how many balls I used, I actually used more. So the reason I decided to switch the colors and have that patina color was because I only had 100 grams left of the mineral blue, and I knew that if I completed the front and back, you know, just all the pieces I was missing to the side and the sleeve, I wouldn't have enough left to complete the other sleeve. So I decided to actually take that daisy yarn and attach it and just work my side and then one sleeve. I actually had 10 grams left over of those 100 grams, and the daisy yarn does have 272 yards per 100 grams. So I think I used a lot of yarn. Also, I used a 4mm hook the pattern calls for. I didn't change any of that. I didn't change the measurements, but because I changed the yarn, I had a lot more stretch, and it's going to stay that way. And also my length was more. It measures 22.5 inches in length. Now, because this is a summer version, I made short sleeves. I will definitely write a detailed blog post on working with this yarn, working with the hook, and also just catch you up on how many sleeve rows I made and the final measurements of this sweater. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with the sweater overall. It's very comfortable. It's super summery. It is kind of a very see-through fabric, which I don't really mind, but I know other people might. So if you are considering using a linen blend yarn, then maybe go down a hook size and you'll probably get the designated, you know, the actual measurements provided for in the pattern. Because as I said, mine turned out to be a lot bigger than the extra small measurements for the pattern, but I'm still very happy with it. It is the perfect summer blouse, and I think you can dress it up to go to the office or dress it down with a pair of shorts. You can, you know, this can be whatever you want it to be. Would I do anything different to the pattern? Yeah, I think I would have actually gone higher on the neck shaping. I would actually have done more rows just because I like a higher neckline. So I like necklines to be right at my collarbone, and this one is about 1 inch below my collarbone, which makes me feel very exposed. I know, I like the Victorian up here bow. Anyway, that is enough blathering on about the Eat Cake sweater, but it is my only finished item. I have no other crochet to share with you, quite honestly, because as I said, those commissions really took a lot out of me. And the only reason I have a finished item is because I decided I was not going to film a podcast without having completed this Eat Cake sweater. So that is it for today's topic of yarn substitutions. Please let me know in the comments below how you feel about yarn substitutions. Are you the type of person that goes diving through your stash to find the perfect yarn for a project? Or are you the type of person that will buy the yarn as project specifically calls for? Maybe because you like the color, or maybe because you actually want it to be as close to what the designer intended as possible. Let me know. Right, so I won't let you go off without first also saying I do have a sewn finished object. Should probably take a video of that. I'll show it next time. It's okay. Or follow me on Instagram. I've showed it there already. But speaking of Instagram, I've been participating in Me Made May. Not every day because I know, well actually, let me know, do you guys get tired when people post on Instagram every day? It does get a little bit hard unless I'm recycling pictures to have content every day, because when I do a photo shoot, it takes about 20 minutes to an hour, and that's just if I'm only taking pictures of the items themselves. Like, for example, now that I finished my second version of the Eat Cake sweater, I really want to do a reel with the song Killer Queen. It's by Queen. You guys don't know what I'm talking about? Google it. It's amazing. Anyway, other things that I've been up to, I watched Shadow and Bone. It's depressing, cool, but depressing. And my favorite character is Jesper. He's the gunslinger, cowboy, British dude. And I haven't watched much TV other than that, honestly. I have bought several books because when I go to Dollar Tree, I usually scrounge through their book section, and I've had a couple of good deals actually. A lot of good deals. These I showed on Instagram a while back, but I thought I would show them here on the podcast as well because I got them. And the two are crochet related or crafting related. One is a striped crochet blanket book, and I actually got it just because I love the colors that were chosen for this cover photo. It's like a light teal, a mustard, and a tan. These colors are amazing, and that blanket is gorgeous. I actually want to make it, but I also got it because I thought some of the stitches and color combinations she uses here would be perfect to make garments, so I could adapt the stitches used to make a garment or use the colors as inspiration. And I actually really like the photography as well. I mean, guys, I can't believe I got this for $1, really. So that's one. It's by Hafner Linson. I'll try to tag it if I find it on Amazon or something like that. I'll try to tag it for you. And the other one that has me absolutely in love and dying to dive into embroidery again is Stitchopedia. It's a beautifully hardcover book, and it's spiral bound as well, so you can turn the pages without any difficulty. And it's literally an encyclopedia of stitches, but it also has projects for you to complete, and it just walks you through the whole steps, what stitches you're going to be using, the colors that you can use for it. And honestly, I've always been very cottagecore obsessed. I just didn't know that's what I was obsessed with. And the idea of covering my home with embroidery and cross stitching is very appealing to me. But as my husband said, when are you gonna have the time? Rude. You don't speak to a crafter about time. You don't. And the other one is more of a reading. It's Amy Tan's biography. Oh, memoir, sorry. It's Amy Tan's memoir. sorry, I had to stop the camera because it was going to cut me off. So this is Amy Tan's memoir. She is the writer of the Joy Luck Club, which is the book of hers that I've read. I always liked the Joy Luck Club. I also found it very sad as well, which, you know, it's the reality of immigrant, or it was the reality. So I don't know if I got it because I really liked her writing, but I'm kind of afraid to dip into it because I know it's going to be sad. So I avoid sad when I can. But those are all the crafty bits and bobs I actually have to share with you today. I hope that you enjoyed us talking about yarn substitutions. If you have any topics of which you'd like to hear about, please also comment down below so that we can make this podcast as interactive as possible. And I guess I could give you a little sneak peek of what I'm planning, because I do have some right next to me. So I am planning to get into the lace weight craze. I'm not going to make an entire garment out of lace weight, but there will be a part of the garment that will have lace weight. And I am attempting to recreate and crochet one of my favorite vintage pieces. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to attempt to recreate and crochet one of my favorite vintage pieces. I actually started swatching for it using the cotton bamboo Lion Brand blend that I had left over from the crochet shift dress that I designed. But I haven't found a hook size that I actually like with it. I tried the 4mm hook and that was too huge. So I will be playing around with that. You know, I was just looking at my china cabinet where I have all my yarn displayed and one of the doors is open, and I realized I have an unintentional finished object as well. But I'll share that next time. So without further ado, I will bid you adieu. Adieu. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this episode and just chatting with me. I hope that you found this useful or entertaining. And if you are making the Eat Cake sweater, please tag me on Instagram. I want to see how it's going. I want to see how it is. I want to see what changes you made. And also, I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's on Ravelry. So if you use Ravelry, please upload a finished project. I know not everybody's using Ravelry right now. They have a dark mode, which I'm using because it's much better for my astigmatism. But I know that people have issues with Ravelry, but I actually do not like purchasing patterns anywhere else just because Ravelry has such a convenient library. The only reason my paid for patterns are not on Ravelry is because when I registered for a sales tax in Florida, which you have to do, it registered under the Dainty by Crochet Cakes because that was the name available on Etsy. And I feel I'm still scared that because I am Clarissa Lopez Rodriguez Designs on Ravelry, my sales tax won't apply and then I'll get in trouble. So yeah, I'm a big scaredy cat, guys. Like, I get anxious about a lot of things. I get anxious about a lot of things, and lately it's been a lot. Like, I'll go to a store and, for example, the first time I went to IKEA, it was fine for about 40 minutes and then I couldn't find the exit. And I was literally just walking around really fast and my husband was like, hey, weren't we gonna buy something? I'm like, I can't, I literally can't. I need to find the exit. Where is the exit in the store? I need to leave. So, yeah. I've also been doing a bit of home renovation. Not home renovation, but I follow the Quendy Home on Instagram, and her styling is always so beautiful that I just look at my house and I'm like, oy vey, why is everything a mess? And you know, I don't know about you, but whenever people post videos or stories or whatever of their pretty houses, I feel like posting one of mine, I'm like, this is the reality. It's a mess. It's only pretty once a day at night when nobody else walks into the kitchen and when everything is put away that you've used in the day and when you've vacuumed the dog hair 4 times. Anyway, I am sure you don't want to hear this, so I am going to say goodbye and wish you guys a very good couple of weeks until we chat again. I am thinking of doing not a podcast, but just a separate video and uploading it to YouTube on what I've learned in my year of blogging full-time or pattern designing full-time. And if you are interested in that, also please let me know. And yeah, guys, happy crafting. Bye. Oh, and if you like the video, give me a thumbs up so that I know that I'm doing something nice. And if you would like to subscribe, please do so. Unfortunately, that is no longer a guarantee because I've had viewers, lovely viewers, just say I don't get notifications even though I've logged the little bell icon. So in order to remedy all this and make sure we get some control back over what we want to watch and what we want to see, I'm actually thinking of not only using my website to put up free patterns, but to actually blog, as in write reviews, write posts, and just chat about what we've been doing and what we've been up to. Let me know. Bye, happy crafting.